ago, in the land of Egypt, the Israelites were living as slaves under the rule of a powerful and proud Pharaoh. They worked endlessly building cities and monuments, their backs sore and their spirits tired. Yet even in their suffering, their families grew larger and stronger. This worried Pharaoh, who feared the Israelites might one day rise against him. So he made a cruel law. Every baby boy born to an Israelite family must be thrown into the Nile River. But among the Israelites was a brave woman named Jochebed. When her baby boy was born, she looked at him and saw something special, a light of hope. For 3 months she hid him, but when she could hide him no longer, she made a small basket of papyrus reeds, coated it with tar to make it waterproof, and placed her precious baby inside. With tears in her eyes, she set the basket among the reeds along the edge of the Nile. The baby's sister, Miriam, quietly followed the basket, watching to see what would happen. Then, Pharaoh's daughter came to the river to bathe. She noticed the basket and told her servants to bring it to her. When she opened it, she saw the baby crying and felt compassion. "This must be one of the Hebrew babies," she said. Miriam ran up and asked if she should find someone to care for the child. Pharaoh's daughter agreed, and Miriam brought her own mother, the baby's mother, to nurse him. When the child grew older, he was brought to Pharaoh's palace, where he was adopted and named Moses, meaning drawn out of the water. Moses grew up surrounded by wealth and luxury, but he never forgot that he was an Israelite. One day, when he saw an Egyptian beating a Hebrew slave, anger rose within him. He struck the Egyptian to defend the slave, but afterward, he feared for his life and fled Egypt into the desert. There, in a land called Midian, Moses became a shepherd and married a woman named Zipporah, the daughter of a priest named Jethro. For many years he lived quietly, tending sheep and raising a family. One day, while leading his flock near Mount Horeb, something strange caught his eye, a bush that was burning but not burning up. As he stepped closer, a voice called from the flames, "Moses, Moses!" Trembling, he answered, "Here I am." Then God said, "Do not come any closer. Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground. I have seen the suffering of my people in Egypt, and I am sending you to Pharaoh to bring them out of slavery." Moses hesitated, saying he was not a great speaker and that Pharaoh would not listen to him. But God promised, "I will be with you. I will help you speak. I will show my power through you." God even gave Moses signs. His staff could turn into a snake, his hand could become leprous and heal again, proofs that God's power was real. So Moses returned to Egypt with his brother Aaron, who became his helper and spokesman. Together they went to Pharaoh and said, "The Lord, the God of Israel, says, 'Let my people go.'" But Pharaoh laughed and refused. He made the Israelites work even harder. So God sent 10 plagues to show his power. The Nile turned to blood, frogs covered the land, gnats filled the air, flies swarmed every home, the animals died, people got boils, hail crashed down from the sky, locusts ate the crops, darkness covered Egypt for 3 days, and finally the firstborn of every Egyptian family died except for the Israelites, who were protected because they obeyed God's command to mark their doors with lamb's blood. After this last plague, Pharaoh finally shouted, "Go, leave Egypt and take your people with you." Moses led the Israelites out of Egypt, carrying with them their families, animals, and bread that had not yet risen. That's why it was called unleavened bread. But Pharaoh changed his mind again and chased after them with his army. The Israelites reached the Red Sea and thought they were trapped. But God told Moses, "Lift up your staff and stretch out your hand over the sea." Moses obeyed, and the waters split in two, forming walls of water on both sides. The Israelites walked through on dry land. When Pharaoh's army followed, Moses stretched out his hand again, and the sea returned, covering the soldiers completely. The Israelites were free at last. They sang songs of joy, praising God for saving them. In the desert, the journey was long and difficult. The people sometimes complained, saying they had no food or water. But God provided for them, sending bread called manna from the sky and water from the rock. He guided them with a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night, showing them the way to the promised land. When they reached Mount Sinai, Moses climbed up the mountain to meet God. There, surrounded by thunder and lightning, God gave Moses the 10 Commandments, 10 rules for living rightly, to love God, respect others, tell the truth, be kind, and keep the heart pure. When Moses came down, his face shone with light, for he had been close to God. The Israelites traveled for many years, learning to trust God and live as his people. Moses led them faithfully, teaching them courage, patience, and obedience. Though he did not enter the promised land himself, he stood on a high mountain and saw it from afar before his time came to rest. And so, Moses, the baby once hidden in a basket, became the great leader who brought his people from slavery to freedom, from fear to faith. Moral of the story. The story of Moses teaches that true strength comes from faith, courage, and obedience to what is right. Moses was not born a king or warrior, yet God chose him to lead because he had a humble heart. No matter where you start or how impossible things seem, if you trust in God and stand up for others, you can change the world.